grow and enhance your grow with Mac Kush. Feel the power from the leaves and the lush. Every harvest brings a different kind of rush. Let it grow and enhance your grow with Mac Kush.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Glad having you here today for another episode. This time it's about pressing rosin. As I mentioned already before, I'm going into this rosin pressing thing and I have no any clue what I'm doing here, but it's my first time that I'm pressing rosin. I have seen tons of videos, done a bit of research, and today I'm finally giving it myself a try. I researched a bit about the different ways to do rosin, and I learned that there is flower rosin, live rosin, hash rosin, kiff rosin, and cold cure rosins. What they all got in common, they are concentrates, and when we take a look at the table I'm displaying right now, you might see that the flower rosin is having a wide accessibility, while the live rosin is having an incredible flavor. Further, the yield and the quality of the yield is much better than for the flower rosin, but we only have flowers, this time the strawberry cuff, available, and we will use them for pressing. The flower material is on a 65% relative humidity stored, and it's kind of moist and still not too dry, so we expect that it will be good for pressing. The strain we are pressing, the strawberry cuff, is quite a miss. The real basic parent genetic is not well known, so we don't know really who are the parents. We can only say it's a sativa dominant flower, and let's see how this turns out after pressing. I've read that the return on extract is between 10 to 30%, and we have to find out what we will get. We will scale the amount of weed we put inside our process before, and we will also scale it after we have our extract in return, and then we know the ratio. Talking flavors, you might remember the episode of a bro of a grow where my bro was harvesting the strawberry cuff. That's the material we will use for making the rosin today. The reason to select the strain is the incredible strawberry-like flavor. This stuff is really smelling and tasting like strawberry, and having that flavor in a concentrated form to conserve the terps, this is what I want to find out today. But before we're gonna get started, we have to get prepared. That means we have to take our checklist and see if we have everything ready we need to do the pressing. First hand, we should have a press. There are different ways to do pressing. You can do pressing the very traditional old way, how it was invented by a guy. He was using a hair straightener and was pressing it together with parchment paper in between, and then he was squeezing the juice out of them. That was the first time someone made rosin. And that all started to evolve, technology kicks in, and they were starting to use better presses, and they increased the pressure on it. They started with low pressure, higher pressure. Now there are presses available. They go up to 20, 30, 40 tons, and there's real high-tech stuff on the market right now. But for us, we start very simple with a very simple entry solution, and that's what we're gonna do today. We try to press our strawberry cuff, 2.8 grams of it into rosin. So let's give it a try. And these nuggets here will be now stuffed into a hash press. I'm using the hash press because it's also good to make pellets. When you use the material before you start pressing and you make it quite dense and you form kind of pellets, you can later put these pellets inside the rosin bag and then you can press it. So the material is already compressed and the surface area is even, and that will give you later a better pressing result. What I heard so far, I hope this also turns out in our experiment today. Now we will stuff the rest of the flowers inside the tube, then we use the counter metal, seal it, and then we will start pressing or pre-pressing the material into the pellets we later fit into our rosin bags. We have to make sure to remove all stalks because we don't need them inside our material. We can press them, but they will not give us what we want, and they will also probably cause a blowout. Now I will compress the material. I start putting the counter metal and the tap on it, screw the tap on, and then rotate the throated rod down and give a lot of pressure of it. Short before my knuckle breaks, I will stop, cause this will give me the pellets we need to fit later perfect in the rosin bag. I didn't mention before, but surely we also need the rosin bags. Rosin bags are available in 25 micron up to 240, 50 micron. I don't know what is the maximum, but as higher you go, as more yield you get, but as less good the quality of your material will be. And for flower rosin, 75 to 90 micron is a good mesh we can use. For other rosins we should go lower and use maybe 35, 45 micron, but we will now try first with the 90 micron bag. This is what I have available, and we will also have the yield in a certain amount which is not going too small compared to a 25 or 35 micron bag. Our first pellet is ready. We will do a second one and fit them next to each other. I heard before that when you turn out the inside of the micron bag to the outside, it's better, as the seam can collect rosin and it's difficult to get it out when the seam is inside. Not sure if this is right, but I heard it makes sense to me. Please let me know in the comments what kind of experience you have. I also heard that some people fit these pellets or the pressed material upside into the bags. They make it tube-like. This is also a way to do it. I think for this time I go the way I folded it now, and for the next time we will do it upright. Please also tell me which one is your way, and as I'm totally new to this rosin pressing, I hope I can get some inspiring informations from you guys and can get the best yield and doing the best job I can do. Short update, I was cutting a bit of the bag away, as I thought if I have too much mesh material overlapping, this will also collect rosin, which I cannot get from my bag, and that means I will lose it. So I was cutting away a bit of it, and now I'm setting the machine to go. I will go with 90 degree. We will now use parchment paper, special parchment paper, rosin parchment paper, because the normal parchment paper is surface treated with Teflon and it can go away when it become hot and get in touch with the press. For me, not really logical, because we're using it in the oven for baking and it's on a metal sheet, on a metal plate. So I'm not sure if I should believe the whole story of it's only a way to make money, but let's take it for now and use the special paper to ensure that we don't do any mistakes. Please let me know in the comments what you think and how you do that, and if you see there is the difference between. I only know there's Teflon on the surface and the other parchment paper, which is for rosin pressing, don't have. Now we will get the two plates together and we gentle get them together. We are not forcing too much pressure on it. We keep the pressure quite low, just that they are attached to each other. And later during the process we will increase the pressure step by step, because the material needs some time to sit and rest and compress again, and later we keep pressing it down, and if we are lucky, the honey will come out very soon. Flower rosin is the most beginner friendly type of doing rosin. You take dried cannabis flowers and just stick them in the bag like we did before, and that's actually the whole trick. You put them in between parchment papers and then you press it, boom, flower rosin ready. The difference to live rosin is that live rosin is made from plants which are cutted and immediately frozen, so the material, the buds, get immediately frozen directly after harvest and before drying, and then they get put out and they get washed out to make bubble hash, and this bubble hash will be later pressed into rosin. The result is super flavorful and high terpene levels and very smooth for dabbing. Further we have hash rosin, which is kind of similar to live rosin, but it's made from dried cured hash instead of fresh rosin. You start with bubble hash or dry sift, you press it, and what comes out is usually much cleaner and more potent than flower rosin. And we also have the kiff rosin, which is made from dry sift trichomes. And this kiff rosin is what I will also try out very soon, because you can do it with the trichomes you collect after you doing the dry sift of your trim rests. Last but not least, we have the cold cure rosin, which isn't a type of starting material, it's more a post-processing method. After pressing, you can let the rosin sit in a jar for several days or weeks at a cool place or cool temperature like the fridge. This will help to cure the rosin and give it a much smoother texture, almost like rosin butter or butter. But now let's take a look at our pressing, what have been done so far. We should also not forget that we just put 2.8 gram inside. Let's see the return now. It's not floating down in streams, but at least something is coming out. It's golden shimmering, and we will later see what we can collect. And I think for the first pressing, not too bad. I tried before some test pressing, but not with flowers. I was using dummies actually to see how pressing works. That is the first real press I did, and looks not too bad. I think I can press this a second time to get even more out, but for the first pressing I'm also a bit impressed. Now let's collect all of that, and then we will scale it and compare it to the input material amount, and then we will know the return in percentage. Here are the numbers. Overall we pressed 2.8 gram and the return was 0.63 gram, which is a 22.5% return. I think for the first time not too bad, but there is headroom, there is space to go better. I will try to improve, but now let's first try this material out. I can tell, I can smell incredible amount of strawberries here when I opened the jar. Incredible amount of strawberry flavor in the room. It's more like artificial flavor. I can't believe that this is a natural flower. Really insane. As I'm not having any dabbing tools, my friend got me his vaporizer, which he bought for extracts. He just don't mention how it works, so I had to figure it out, but after a little bit of pushing I was familiar with getting this thing on. Now it's heating up. I selected 270 degree as a middle temperature dab. I heard there's high temperature dab, middle temperature dab and low temperature dab, and I decided to go for a middle temperature dab. And with this micro spoon or dabbing tool or however it's called, leave me in the comment how it's really called, because I don't know. We can later take the material, the rosin, and put it in the heating chamber. And then the material will be heated up and I can consume it. That's how this should work. So let's find out how it works, because I really never tried before. And now we have to get some of the rosin out. I will not take too much because I'm not familiar with the effect. And I only know that it's concentrated and can go up to 80% THC, which is a lot. So I should be careful if I haven't tried it before. Looks good and smells fantastic. So let's get that into the heating chamber. I will not use the whole part which I showed you. I will take much less because I don't know the effect so far. And we will find out how it works and then adjust the quantity according to the needs. And let's get some material inside and get started. What makes rosin so special is how clean it is. You're literally just squeezing out the oil from a flower, hash or kiff. Nothing is added, nothing removed. It's only purity, that's actually all you get. And that also helps you to get a very, very clean terpene profile and the full spectrum of experience. Around 2017-18, Rosin was mainstream in the US, and concentrates was in US and also in Spain. Big thing. Hash rosin made from ice water hash became the golden standard. And as it's the purest form, I had to give it a shot and had to try it out, and I had a very funny afternoon, as you might see yourself. It's delivering. I'm sorry guys, but it's the first time that I'm doing that. I'm absolutely happy with the result of the first time pressing. Nothing to complain. I had an incredible terp experience. The strawberry came through. It was like eating strawberries. It's really amazing. I can only tell you have to try this strain, guys. It's an amazing strain and the flavor is fantastic. And the first time having rosin pressed was lots of fun. Please let me know in the comments what I can improve. I think there is always space to improve and to do it better. It was for me not so much something of I was used to, it was more something I get used to, and I learned step by step, and I'm sure by experience and a couple of more pressings I can improve my results. And if you guys have tips for me how I can do better, please let me know. I'm really thankful for every information which can improve my experience. I hope you like what you have seen. If so, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. It will help me a lot. See you next week for another episode of the Strain Growing Journey.